everybody. Happy Thursday and welcome back to Reading Today with Mrs. Durham. Today is Thursday, September 24th. I hope that you are on the right reading video, and if you are, welcome. Today, we are going to be using your big reading book, so your Literature Anthology book, your big book, pages 42 through 47. And then you're also going to need the workbook pages that got sent home with you or that are in your workbook. And we're going to be looking at pages 15 through 18 today. Like I said, today's Thursday, September 24th, so hopefully you are in the right video. So all this week, we've been talking about the difference between country living, city living. We've read lots of different stories about living in the city, living in the country. We've compared the two. We've done so much this week about it, and it's been what a wonderful week. And we've been studying short I. We've been talking about putting sentences in order. It's just a great week, is it not? Right? So today we're going to start off by talking about something new in our stories. I want to talk about bold letters. I know Mrs. Banks, a couple weeks ago, our word of the week was bold. And bold means like you stand out. You do something brave, right? You can notice something. So in the word bold, when we talk about that when we're reading, those are words that stick out and are like really, really dark. Like they're usually like really thick and really dark because they want you to stop and they want you to figure out what that word means, okay? So like if I write the word cat, okay? I can write the word cat just very lightly, very simple, cat, right? But when I make something bold, I make it like really thick and really dark. So like a bold would be like cat, and maybe I would even go over it a couple times. See how bold that is? You can see that a lot better than the lightly colored one. So then if I was reading and I see the word cat written in bold or really dark, I might be like, oh, maybe that's an important word and I need to stop and figure out what that means. That's kind of an interesting idea. We're going to read a story today that has some bold words in the text. And the text is another name for the story, remember? It has some bold words in the text that we're going to take a look at and see why they're important and why they made them bold. So I'm going to bring you on over to the smart board today, and we are going to read this story. So now we're in your book, okay? Grab your book, and we're going to read the story that is called I Live Here. I Live Here. So it's on page 42 is the very first page of this book. This is a nonfiction story. So that means that is a true story. Remember, fiction means kind of like fake or not real. Well, this is nonfiction, which means it is not fake. It is not made up. It is a real story. Okay, so we're going to read it. It's called I Live Here. That's the title. All right, here we go. I live in the country. Whoa. Can you see this? I'm going to move you really close. Can you see that? I live in the country. That word country, it's bold, which means, wait, we need to know what that means. Didn't we talk about country was a vocabulary word? Yeah. So this has a bold country because it wants us to say, hey, remember, you talked about that with your teacher. We learned out what the country is. What is the country? Good. The country is somewhere where it has lots of space, usually has farms. Awesome. So I live in the country. We stopped at that bold word because that was bolded and they wanted us to be like, hey, this word is important. Well, it's important because we learned what the country is. I live in a house. Not many people live near us, and that's something we did talk about, right? We talked about how when you live in the country, you don't live near many people. Here's the next page. It says, I live in the city. I don't know if you can see it, but city is bold. Did we talk about what city means too? Yeah, the city is a place that has lots of people, lots of buildings, and is very noisy. So that was bolded because that's a word that we talked about. I live in a big building. Stop and look at the word building. Not only is it bold, they highlighted it too. What? So that is double important, because have we talked about the word building before? Not really. Well, how would you describe a building? A building is like a place that has a lot of rooms in it, right? Think about our school building. How many rooms are inside of here? If you look at this picture back here, this is like a big building. Look how many different houses are in that building, right? A building is a big place that has many rooms or houses inside of it. Lots of people live here. Wow, that's pretty cool. Can you visualize and picture yourself there? What would it look like if you lived in a big building like that? Maybe you do live in a big building where there's more than one house in there. That would be cool. Here we go back to this page. Not back to this page, onto this page. We're on page 44 if you're reading with me. I live in the country. Country is bolded again because we talked about why it's important. I play in my yard. Yard is bold and it's highlighted. That's an important word. What is a yard? Good. It's the space around your house where you might play. Good. Lots of kids play with me. Do you ever play in your yard at all? What kind of games do you like to play in your yard? I live in the city. There's that city. It's bold again. I play in the playground. Playground is bold and highlighted. What is a playground? I think you probably know. Good. They don't have a yard. They have a playground because they don't have as much grass. Lots of kids play with me. Whoa, look at the ending. Lots of kids play with me. Lots of kids play with me. So either if you live in the city or the country, do you still have lots of friends to play with? Yeah. Okay, here we go. We're on the next page, page 46. I live in the country. Okay, there's country again. My school is far away. I ride the bus. Okay, sometimes you might live 20 minutes from your school. I bet some of you probably live in the country and ride the bus to the school, don't you? Yeah, we live all around here, so it might take a lot of minutes to get to school, and you might take the school bus. I live in the city. My school is near my home. My mom walks with me. Where do you live? So a lot of time in the city, they have lots of schools in the city. So usually they have a school that's within walking distance from your house. They don't have schools. I mean, think about how far out you could go in the country and still go to school here. They are usually never that far. They still do have school buses, but a lot of kids, if you live in the city like Chicago or like New York City, where it's really a lot of buildings, usually you can walk to where you need to go. So the last question said, where do you live? Which we've talked about this week. What's more similar to where we live, right? We live more towards the country, and we have some of those. A lot of us have yards. A lot of us have houses. Some people people do live in buildings too, because we do have buildings around here. Some people do live close enough that they can walk to school, and that's great. But we also do have the country where we do need the bus to pick us up, or even our little town is bigger than some cities and what schools, what kids can go to some schools in the city. So even our town, we have friends who ride the bus too. So, because it's just a little bit too far to walk. So that's a pretty cool story. I really like that story because it just compares and contrasts the city and the country right there in those photographs. I mean, you can see it right there. They're in a small town getting on a bus, and they're in a big city. You can see the buildings in the background. And I just think that that's a really good story to explain the differences between those two. So, did you see the bold print in there? I saw the bold print in there. I saw it quite a few times. I saw it with country and city and playground and yard, buildings. I saw it a lot. Okay, I want you to pause right now, and I want you to tell somebody who you're nearby. Would you rather live in the country or would you rather live in the city? And tell them why. Why would you like to rather live in the city or the country? And then come back because we're going to talk about double consonants today. We've been talking about them this week. Today I'm going to give you 2 words, and I want you to practice making a sentence out of those words, okay? So the first word is hill. 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 It only makes one L sound. I don't say hill, I say hill. I say the L sound one time, even though that there's 2. So see if you can make a sentence with the word hill. Then I want you to see if you can make a sentence with the word pass. Like I'm going to pass the football, or I'm going to pass the paper into my teacher, or I'm going to pass the pencil to my friend. Okay? It has the s sound, but I don't say s. I just say s at the end of it. So pass. Can you make a sentence with the word hill and a sentence with the word pass? Okay, go ahead and pause me while you do that. And then when you come back, I apologize that I'm moving around so much, but I need both things. I'm going to come over to the smart board and you can go ahead and get your worksheets out. They're pages 15 through 18, okay? 15 through 18. And before we do that, I'm going to see if I can pull up our little short story here. Go ahead and pull that up real quick, and I am going to grab a story that is in your reading book, and I will be right back. Because I am not going to actually take the story out today. We are going to leave the story in myself, but you get to take it out and you get to make a story. Okay, so the first page we're going to be on is page 13. 13. And it has some short I words on it. We're going to do a little bit of short I work real quick. And then we will keep going. We're going to talk about some details after that. I'm going to pull it up here because looks like this. Page 13 has the word kiss, pin, pick, dig, and win on the top. All right, so here we go. That first picture, what does it look like they're doing? They have a shovel, kind of like that there's a hole in the ground. What might they be doing? Any ideas? Dig? What do you think? Yep, it is dig. So we're going to write the word D-I-G, dig, and cross it off to make sure that you got it. I'll scoot you a little bit closer. That way you can see it better. Sorry for being so far away. There we go. Okay, how about the next one? This is like something that you might put like, if I needed to hang a paper up on my bulletin board, I might push this into the bulletin board. Maybe a pin? What do you think? A pin, a pick, a win, or a kiss? I think it's a pin. P-I-N. All right, I'm going to let you try the last 3 on your own, okay? Go ahead and pause me. It looks like there's a mom and a son, somebody crossing a finish line, and it looks like an apple tree. Somebody's reaching up. So go ahead and try to choose the last 3 on your own. All right, did you get those finished? Awesome. I knew you could do good with those short I words. The next one we're going to do is this detail page. It's on page 14, and it is on the back. It's just turn that paper over. It's just right on the back side. And we're going to talk about our story, I Live Here, that we just read together. We're going to pick out 3 details or 3 things that help to make that a good story, okay? 3 key details that happened that we learned about, okay? So can you think, what was one thing that you thought was interesting that was a detail about that story? It can be about the country or the city. Oh, how about that people in the city sometimes live in buildings? Do you remember that word that we saw? Let's write that one. How do we want to write it? The detail is, in the city, some people live in buildings. In the city, some people live in buildings. Right? That was a detail. We learned about that. That was something we learned, that in the city, some people live in buildings. And once again, forgive my handwriting. I wish I could write smoother, but it's kind of tricky. I'll see if I can make it a little thicker. In the city, some people live in buildings. Okay, what's another thing we learned about? What's another thing? I'm thinking about another word that we saw. How about the word yard? How people in the country have a yard to play in, right? How about people in the country have yards? People in the country have yards, right? All right. Go ahead and pause me now if you need to wait to write that down. I'm going to start thinking about the last example. That was kind of cool. Which one do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about how in the country people take a bus, or in the city that it's close enough they can walk? Let's write about the city one. So in the city, right, schools are close enough that they can walk, right? So in the city, some schools are close enough to walk to. Are close. I'm going to write on my own finger. Are close enough. ENOUGH. Some schools are close enough to walk. Once again, I'm sorry that sometimes this smartboard just picks it up. This is a T. In the city, some schools are close enough to walk. That was a really cool detail. I loved that detail. All right, go ahead and pause me if you need to finish that. If you are ready to go, you can go ahead and take your story out. It's called Pip and Tip, and you're going to kind of take it, and it folds right in half to make a story. So I'm going to read it, but I'm going to leave it in my book. That way I can keep it nice and tidy. So I am going to read it for you page by page, okay? So we have Pip and Tip. Pip will go up. Tip will not go up. Pip will dig. Tip will sit. Who's the hard worker here, Pip or Tip? Seems like somebody's working hard and the other one's just taking a break and lounging, huh? Can you pause me and reread through that story? I just read it for you, so you should be able to go back and kind of reread it all on your own. And then when you're done, I want you to turn to page 17. It looks just like this. It says, reread Pip and Tip. And we're going to circle 2 pictures that show details of the story. So we're picking out 2 things that happen in the story. Okay? So there's the first picture. Pip is walking up the hill. Did that happen? Yes, it did. Pip walked up the hill with that shovel. Now there's a picture of it looks like cats and dogs fighting. Do you remember that happening in the story? I don't remember that happening in the story. I'm not going to circle that. How about this last one? It looks like Tip's getting a chair ready. Do you remember that? Yep. He's getting ready to get comfy, not do any work. Tip is not helping out. And the last one says, write a sentence that tells a key detail from page 3. Ooh, so you have to go back to page 3. It's a picture of Pip. And what is he doing? Pip is digging, isn't he? That's a key detail. That's something that happens. So write a sentence that tells a key detail from page 3. Is that Pip was digging?
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Sorry, my watch was listening. Pip was digging. Pip was digging. Notice I put a capital and I put a period at the end of my sentence because it is a sentence. Okay, so that's a key detail that happened on page 3. I was able to go back and look at page 3. This is page 3 right here. Pip will dig. But hold on, let me see if I can show you that. It says the number 3. I could go find the number 3 right down here and go see exactly what was happening on that page. Okay, when you are done with that page, we have one more to do, and it looks like this. It's page 18. Uh-oh, I lost my screen share. There we go. And it's talking about our double consonant words. Okay, talking about our double consonant words. It's page 18. This is the last page we're doing today, okay? When a word ends with 2 consonants that are the same, the letters make one sound. They don't sound twice. We've talked about that this week. So like the word will, jazz, pass. It says l, z, s. It only says it one time. We don't say it twice. So we're going to read each sentence, underline the word that ends with the same 2 consonants, and then write that word on the line. Okay, you got it. Matt has a big hat. Matt has a big hat. Which word has 2 letters at the end of it that are the same? Matt. Look, right there. We're going to underline that word because Matt has M-A-T-T, and it says Matt. M-A-T-T. Matt. It has 2 T's. Number 2 says Pam has to miss school. Which one has the same 2 letters at the end? Don't let school trick you because those 2 O's are not at the end, okay? Miss. Yeah, miss. M-I-S-S. It has 2 S's. M-I-S-S. Miss. Good job. Okay, the next 2 ones, I'm just going to read them, and I want you to underline the words and then write the word that has the double consonants at the end on the line, okay? Cam will hit. Which word has double consonants at the end? And number 4 is Dan can pass. Which one has the double consonants? The 2 same letters at the end that make one sound. Okay, I hope you got that finished. This one was will. This one was pass. When you're done with that, you are done with reading for today. Thank you guys so much for joining me this Thursday. I know we do a lot of pages on Thursday, so thank you for having your materials with me and for working through all of them together. Let me know if you have any questions. Let your teacher know if you have any questions, and I will see you for Friday tomorrow. Bye!